everyone, I am your Florida high school counselor, and today we're going to go over high school vocabulary, terms and abbreviations every Florida high school student and parent should know. So the first thing we're going to talk about is how to identify your grade level in high school. You know, K-8, it was really easy to identify your grade level. You'd say I'm in 7th grade. In high school, it gets a little bit more complicated, but it's easy to understand once you get familiar with it. So once you enter high school, you enter into high school as a 9th grade student, you're going to be referred to as a freshman. In 10th grade, you'll be considered a sophomore. In 11th grade, you will be considered a junior. And then that fabulous 12th grade year, you're going to be referred to as a senior. You're going to find in high school, probably more than half the time, you're going to be referred to as freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, and not necessarily as a 9th, 10th, 11th, or 12th grader. So in high school, there's multiple courses that you can take. There are regular courses, which are your standard high school courses, okay? Then you have your honors, pre-ACE, pre-AP, pre-IB. I know that gets a little complicated, but those are all your more advanced courses. And then after that, we have our ACE, AP, DE, and IB courses. And those are your college level courses. So here on this slide, I do break it down with those acronyms, what they all stand for. So your ACE courses are your Advanced International Certificate of Education courses. Those are really going to be taken on your high school campus. And that's if your high school campus offers ACE courses. Not all campuses will. Then we have AP courses, which are advanced placement courses. Those are typically going to be taken on your high school campus or online. International Baccalaureate courses, those are going to be taken on your high school campus if your high school campus offers IB courses. Not all campuses do. And then DE, which stands for dual enrollment. Dual enrollment courses can be taken on your high school campus. Those offerings are going to vary school by school, district by district. They can also be taken at the college's physical campus or online. Some restrictions and eligibility criteria are going to apply, so it'll be important for you to check with your county's county website or your high school counselor. So your high school courses are going to award high school credits, okay? So at the semester interval, and your semesters are usually from August to December or early January, and then January to end of May or June, you're going to earn half a credit per semester or 1 credit at the end of the school year. Now, typically, there's only a couple of classes where you have to wait till the end of the year to earn the credit, and those courses are going to be Algebra 1, Geometry, Biology, and U.S. History. Now, in addition to earning your high school credit, there are some classes that I mentioned on the last slide that can award college credit. Those are those college classes. So your ACE, AP, DE, and IB courses, those are going to award high school credit, of course, assuming we pass these classes, okay? And they may also award college credit, but there's an if, okay? So with the ACE, AP, and IB courses, those are going to award college credit if you pass the designated final exam at the end of the year. Dual enrollment, your DE classes, are going to award college credit simply based on the fact that you passed the course. And you're going to earn your college and high school credit for your dual enrollment classes at the end of each semester. Now, each type of course is going to be weighted differently in your GPA. So what is a GPA? GPA stands for grade point average. Each type of course is given a certain number of quality points based on the letter grade that you earn. So you can see here that we have our regular courses, then we have our honors courses, and in the center column you can include your pre-ACE, your pre-AP, your pre-IB, and your honors courses, all right here in this center column. And then your college courses would be here. Those are going to be your ACE, your AP, your IB, and your DE classes, okay? And you can see here where you have your letter grades, and then the quality points that those letter grades yield vary based on the type of course. So let's see how this plays out in an example GPA calculation. So how do you calculate your GPA? Basically, you're going to take your total quality points and you're going to divide by the total number of credits that you've attempted, and you're going to get your GPA. So over here we have a sample freshman. This could be a typical freshman schedule. The student took Algebra 1, pre-AP English, drawing, acting, their PE and health, and their biology. You can see here that these are each worth 1 credit, except for the ones in yellow, PE and health, are each worth half a credit. That's going to be important to consider in a minute. Here we have the grades that they earned, and then we have 2 columns. We have weighted GPA, weighted quality points, and then unweighted quality points. So in the weighted column, we're going to take into consideration that this pre-AP English 1 class is in this honors category, and this student earned an A. So instead of earning 4 points for that A, in the weighted column, they're going to earn 4.5 points. Now coming over here to these courses in yellow, the PE and the health, since these courses are only half a credit, rather than earn 4 points for that A, you're going to divide that in half. It's a half a credit, so they're going to get 2 points for that A. And then you just add up your points and you divide by the number of credits attempted, which is 6, and the student's weighted GPA is 3.75. Now over here, their unweighted GPA kind of ignores the fact that this English 1 is here in this center column, weighing in as an honors course. So it's only awarding 4.0 points. So this student's unweighted GPA would be 3.66. Now I know it might be getting a little confusing already. What's the difference between weighted and unweighted? We're going to go over that in just a moment. So here we have the different types of GPAs, okay? Your unweighted GPA is going to be all of your classes weighted on a 4.0 scale. So when you're taking those more advanced classes and you're earning, you would think you're earning 4.5 or 5 points because you earned an A. The unweighted GPA is kind of ignoring that, and all your classes are going to weigh in as a 4.0 at the highest. Your weighted GPA is considering the rigor of those courses. So your regular courses, 4.0, your honors, pre-ACE, pre-AP, pre-IB coming in at 4.5, and then those AP, DE classes, IB, etc., coming in at 5.0. All right, so that's the difference between unweighted and weighted. Considering the rigor, not considering the rigor. Now, cumulative GPA versus term or semester GPA. So cumulative, I want you to think about the accumulation of grades. So this is going to be the GPA for all your high school credit bearing courses, including any courses or credits that you earned for high school and middle school. So if you were in 8th grade and you took pre-AP English 1 or Algebra 1, geometry, biology, you took high school credits in middle school, those are going to count into your cumulative GPA. At the end of 12th grade, your cumulative GPA is going to include every class, every grade that you earned that is going into your high school transcript. Now that's different than your term or your semester GPA. So semester GPA would say, let's say it's 9th grade, semester 2, it's May, and I earned all A's for the semester. My semester GPA would be 4.0. But let's say that first semester I earned all B's. My cumulative GPA, having all B's and then all A's, my cumulative GPA would be roughly 3.5, but my second semester GPA would be 4.0. So that's the difference between those two. Now, cumulative academic weighted GPA. Don't get lost in that. It's a little wordy, but your cumulative academic weighted GPA is going to be your GPA in only your core classes. Your core classes are going to include English, math, science, social studies, and foreign language. It is weighted, so it is going to take into consideration the rigor of those courses. And this is the GPA that's going to be calculated by any university that you apply to for admissions. NCAA is going to look at your cumulative academic weighted GPA. And then subsequent to that, many of you are already familiar with the Bright Futures Scholarship. They're going to look at the cumulative academic weighted GPA for the Bright Futures Scholarship eligibility. We're going to go over the NCAA and Bright Futures momentarily. All right, once you know your GPA throughout high school, you're going to establish a class rank, okay? An example class rank would be 1 out of 468. So let's say that your GPA was, let's say 4.5. It was really stellar, okay? And your rank was 1 out of 468. That would mean you have the highest GPA, your first place, out of 468 students. Okay, now why is your GPA important? Well, to earn any Florida high school diploma, and you're going to see why I say any in a moment, because there's a couple different pathways to earn a high school diploma, but all of them are going to require that you have an unweighted cumulative GPA of 2.0. For the Bright Futures scholarships, you're going to need at least a 3.0 cumulative weighted academic GPA or 3.5 cumulative weighted academic GPA based on the scholarship that you're working towards. And then for university admissions, each university has an established expected minimum cumulative weighted academic GPA for admissions that they expect for an ideal freshman candidate. It's going to be important that you know, if you plan on going to a university, what that university expects to see of your GPA when you apply. Now, to find that out, you can simply type into Google Florida SUS admissions matrix and just make sure you pull it up for the current or most recent year. And then you can see for all of the Florida public universities and then private universities what GPA they expect to see from you if you want to apply to their university after high school. And then for athletics, you have to maintain a 2.0 GPA to play sports in high school. That could vary by district, so you might want to double check with your school counselor or athletic director. But for the most part, you're going to see it's pretty consistent. You have to have a 2.0 GPA. And then for college, for the NCAA scholarships, GPA is going to come into play. Really quick, what is NCAA? So it's a membership organization of colleges and universities whose fundamental charge is to maintain the intercollegiate athletics as an integral part of the educational program and the athlete as an integral part of the student body. NCAA is huge in the United States. It goes to Canada, Puerto Rico. If you have specific questions about NCAA, I am going to be creating an NCAA presentation in the weeks or months to follow, so stay tuned for that. You can also, in the interim, see your school counselor or your athletic director. And then also the NCAA has an entire website that you can navigate to just by Googling NCAA, okay? The Florida Bright Futures scholarships. So the Bright Futures scholarships are scholarship programs for students graduating in the state of Florida who do meet a specific set of rigorous requirements in the categories of coursework, GPA, test scores, and community service. There are 4 scholarships. Each of them do have a different set of requirements. They have different reimbursement amounts. Briefly, these scholarships are the Florida Academic Scholarship, you'll hear referred to as FAS. FAS, that's the Florida Academic Scholarship. Then you have the Florida Medallion Scholarship, FMS. Then your FGSC, Florida Gold Seal CAPE. And then your FGSCV, your Florida Gold Seal Vocational Scholarship. Okay, I will be publishing another presentation on the Bright Futures Scholarship programs in the next weeks to months to follow, so stay tuned for that. In the interim, you can always see your school counselor. You can Google Florida Bright Futures website, and there is an official website from DOE with some handbooks that you can review, but I'm hoping to make that a little bit more friendly to understand, so stay tuned for that. All right, standardized tests. So in high school, there are going to be multiple types of standardized tests that you're going to take, and you're going to take them for different purposes. So firstly, let's start with the Florida EOCs, and you're going to hear that, EOC, EOC, okay? EOC is going to stand for end of course exam. Only a handful of courses have an EOC in high school. Those courses are going to be Algebra 1, Geometry, U.S. History, Biology, although I didn't note it there, and that EOC is going to be 30% of the final grade, okay? When you take government, typically you're going to take government in 12th grade, whether you take that as an AP class or dual enrollment or as just a standard high school course. Everyone who takes government, which is required to graduate, is going to have to take the Civics literacy exam. Now that is a graduation requirement. It is a must take, meaning you must take it. You don't have to pass it, okay? But to earn an associate's degree or a bachelor's degree in the state of Florida, once you go to college, you do have to pass it. So we give you the opportunity to pass it in high school. If you don't pass it in high school, no foul, no worry. Once you're at your university or your state community college, you will retake it and you must pass it to get your degree. In 10th grade, you're going to, well, in 10th grade or after you take English 2, because some of you guys are a little bit advanced with your English, you started in middle. So either in 10th grade or while you're in English 2 in April or May, you're going to have a Florida grade 10 reading assessment. Now I'm not being specific with the name because the name changes, okay? When I went to high school, it was the HSCT, and then it was the FCAT, and then it was the FSA, and then FSA 2.0. And now next year, we're going to have a new name. We have the elimination of the FSA, but you're still going to have a 10th grade reading assessment. I don't know what the state is calling it yet. So right now we're just going to refer to it as a grade 10 reading assessment that you have to pass, okay? You're going to have to take well, you don't have to take it, but most schools are going to have you take the PSAT in 10th grade. That's your practice SAT. And then in 11th grade, you have the PSAT NMSQT. So that is the practice SAT again. And you also take this for the National Merit Scholarship in 11th grade. Usually in 11th grade, you have to independently go see your school counselor or your testing coordinator to sign up to take it. It's not typically automatic, although it may be in some districts. So you would take it in 11th grade for the National Merit Scholarship, or if you're university bound, okay? Now the SAT is another standardized assessment. It's going to be used by most universities to make admissions decisions. And a certain score must also be earned on the SAT for your Bright Futures Scholarship or for NCAA scholarships or to take dual enrollment. So it's for university admissions, but then also scholarships and dual enrollment. You're typically going to take your SAT for the first time in grade 11 and then grade 12. ACT, very similar to SAT. It's going to be used by universities to make admissions decisions. A certain score has to be earned for the various Bright Futures scholarships, NCAA scholarships, or dual enrollment courses. You're typically going to take it for the first time in 11th grade and then 12th grade until you earn the ACT or SAT score that you need for your purposes, whether it's scholarship or university admissions. Now, there is something called ACT, SAT Superscore, okay? A Superscore is when you can take the average of your best scores from each subject from multiple tests. So let's say in January I took the SAT and I did amazing on the evidence-based reading and writing, but I totally bombed the math, okay? And now in June, I retake the SAT. I did a little bit poorer on the evidence-based reading and writing, but now I really hit it out of the park with the math. I can take that January evidence-based reading and writing score, and then I can combine it with my June SAT math to get my total score. So that's super scoring. You can super score with your SAT or your ACT. And then you have your PERT test. And I always think of PERT like PERT plus shampoo and conditioner. I don't know, it's how I remember it. It stands for Post-Secondary Education Readiness Test. It's another placement test. It's going to be used by your colleges and universities to determine if you are college ready for math and English and writing. Okay, most of our students are going to take the PERT test for dual enrollment eligibility. There are certain cut scores for dual enrollment in Florida, pretty consistent across counties. So you're going to take that primarily for dual enrollment purposes. Okay, you can combine for dual enrollment your ACT, SAT, or PERT scores to meet the requirements. So say you pass the SAT reading, you pass the ACT math, and then the PERT writing, you can pull those scores from the 3 exams to meet the dual enrollment eligibility for the testing, okay? All right, high school diploma requirements, okay? So we have 3 different diploma options for our standard diploma students. So your standard 24 credit diploma, pretty simple. It's what most parents are used to. If you've been, in the Florida education system yourself, you need to have 4 English, 4 math, 3 science, your 4 social studies courses, your fine art, your health and PE, and then 8 electives, okay? Now within the math, you have to take algebra, you have to take geometry. Those are non-negotiables. The subsequent 2 math are really open based on what's available at your high school campus or online or through dual enrollment. Your science, one of those science classes has to be biology. The other 2 are open, just like with those other 2 math classes. For your social studies, it's pretty specific. Everyone has to take world history, US history, economics, and government. Remember that government class is now tied to that civics literacy exam that you must take. Your health and PE, your 8 electives. Now, within the 8 electives, for students who are graduating in the years of 2023, 2024, or 2025, those 8 electives are just open. You choose the 8 electives, okay? The class of 2026 and thereafter will have to take, as part of the 8 electives, half a credit in a personal financial literacy course. How you take that may look different across the state. Some schools may offer it on the school campus. Some schools may direct you to take it on their district eSchool platform or FLVS. So to find out how to meet that requirement, talk to your school counselor. 1 online class, and that would be completing an online class. So typically our students take driver's ed, peer counseling, social media, outdoor ed. You have to complete a class. So if it's a 1 semester class and you complete the 1 semester, that meets the online requirement. If you sign up for a full year class, for example, world music, and you only complete the 1st semester, because you didn't complete the 2nd semester and it's a full year course, that would not meet the online course requirement. So make sure for this requirement that you just pick an online class that's only 1 semester, unless you're absolutely certain and that you're committed to completing a full year course, okay? Now, there is also a CTE pathway option for students. So it's those same core 18 credits, so English, math, science, social studies, but it's eliminating the PE, the health and PE requirement. It's not required. Also, that performing fine art is not required. The online class is not required. But now what is required in place of those is you have to take 2 CTE courses and you have to earn the industry certification. So you take the CTE class, around April you take the associated CTE exam, and then you have to earn the certification in 2 of those CTE classes. And then you have to have 2 credits in a work-based learning program, okay? Or 2 electives, credits including financial literacy. And then a third diploma option is the 18 credit accelerated diploma. So you're gonna look at the standard 24 credit diploma requirements, okay? The only things that are eliminated here is instead of 8 electives, you only need 3. You don't need your health and PE, and you do not need the online requirement. All the diploma options are still going to require the state assessments for reading and math or earning a concordant score and GPA. All right, so talking about test scores for a minute to graduate. So you have to pass a reading graduation test and a math graduation test, okay? Now each graduating class has a little bit different of a score requirement, okay? So you can see we have it broken down here by cohort. So for the state graduation test for reading, you can either pass the state developed reading graduation test, or you can pass the ACT reading or the SAT reading. For the math, you can either pass the state assessment for Algebra 1, which is the Algebra 1 EOC, or you can pass your PSAT math, or your SAT math, or your ACT math, or you can pass the geometry EOC. There are some prep programs available online, of course. There's probably too many to name. The 2 most common are going to be for the SAT, the Khan Academy SAT Prep. This is free to all students. It doesn't matter what grade level you're in. Your goal would be to do at least 15 hours of SAT Prep on Khan Academy to see a real significant gain in your score. Test prep for the ACT would be Kaplan ACT Prep. It can be costly, I'm going to be honest with you, but if you qualify for a fee waiver and you register for the ACT with a fee waiver, then you can access the Kaplan ACT Prep for free. The only thing is you have to be an 11th grade or 12th grade student to qualify for the fee waiver, and it is based on family size and income. You can see the eligibility requirements each year because they typically change a little bit on the ACT website, or you can just see your school counselor. All right, so we also have some designations for diplomas that you're going to hear people refer to throughout high school. So the scholar designation is one that is noted on the actual diploma by a seal, a sticker that would go on the diploma indicating that a student is a scholar. And it's also indicated on the transcript. It's really meant to denote that the student has taken college preparatory courses and passed certain EOCs. So we do have the full list of scholar diploma designation requirements here. One thing to note though is that this scholar designation is not tied to any type of scholarship or financial aid. nor is the merit diploma designation. Now down below here we have the merit diploma designation, which would mean the student has earned one or more industry certifications from one or more CTE classes that they've taken throughout their high school career. And then we have the gold seal or the silver seal of biliteracy. This is really an incentive for students to have a focus, an area of concentration in the foreign languages. The requirements are here for the gold seal and for the silver seal. And really it's demonstrating through these requirements mastery of reading, writing, and speaking a foreign language. So these are the requirements there. And now I would like to talk a little bit about college. I know this is vocab for 9th grade, you know, parents and students, but we need to know what we're working for while we're in high school, okay? So this is kind of a convoluted picture I put together of the different pathways for college. So we're going to focus right over here for a minute on undergraduate admissions, which is your bachelor's degree or your 4-year degree, okay? And we have 2 different pathways to get that 4-year degree. About half of our students at the school I work at are going to go with a 2+2 pathway, which is where we start out at a state or community college for 2 years, and we earn what's called an AA degree, which is a general degree. It's the most transferable degree to any 4-year degree, or earn a AS degree, which is an associate's in science, which is geared towards a math or science or health science degree, which would then transfer into a Bachelor of Science degree. Okay, so if you're going to be a 2+2 student, you would get your AA Associate in Arts degree. It has nothing to do with art, so don't be confused by that, or your Associate in Science degree. And then you would transfer after the completion of that 2-year degree to your university for 2 more years, and you would earn your bachelor's degree. And then your 2+2 would equal 4 years, a bachelor's degree. Now, other students will go directly to a university. So at the school I work at, about 20% of our students will go directly to a university, and they'll enroll in a bachelor's degree program. Once you have your bachelor's degree, then you can pursue your master's degree. Now, some students will stay at the same university when they go to graduate school, okay? And then other students might choose to go to another university. So just my story, I did my Associate in Arts and Associates in Science at Pasco Hernando State College. Then I transferred to St. Leo University, and then I transferred to Florida State University. So I kind of jumped around a little bit, whereas somebody else might just go to FSU for their entire education. Okay, now if you are a 2+2 student, if that's the direction you think you're going to take, you really want to consider dual enrollment classes in high school. All right, those college credits that you get through dual enrollment are guaranteed to go with you to the university. All right, and it's free. Your high school, the state is paying the tuition, your books are free, your lab fees are free. So you're really getting a jump start with a free college education. Okay, for our students who are university bound, okay, you want to leave your high school directly to the university. You're going to want to make sure that you take your rigorous courses. You definitely have to take your 2 years of foreign language. You have to maintain at least a 3.0 GPA, maybe higher, depending on the university that you're interested in. Look at what ACT, SAT scores are required for that university. So you can be pretty eclectic though. You can take AP classes, IB classes, dual enrollment classes. Just make sure that you're really hitting that rigorous course work, okay? Now, if you're staying in state, all those courses that I just mentioned are great. So in-state university students, honors classes, DE classes, AP classes, IB classes. If you're considering out of state, okay, if you're certain you're going to a university out of state, then you really want to focus on honors classes, AP classes, IB classes. If your school offers ACE courses for in-state, out of state, okay? Now, not everyone's going to do 2 + 2. Not everyone's going to do university. More and more students are taking the vocational trade school pathway. So here in my area, we have 4 vocational trade schools. Vocational trade schools are typically shorter than 2 years. They can be anywhere from 3 months to 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. But your courses are far more concentrated. You're going to find that you're taking classes specific to the training that you need for that vocational trade career. So some examples would be auto mechanic, certified nursing assistant, cosmetologist, cybersecurity, HVAC, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, real estate, life insurance marketing, welding, logistics technician, early childhood, culinary and hospitality, patient care tech, commercial arts, digital cinema production, electrician, marine services technician, auto collision technician, auto services technician, corrections officer, law enforcement officer, electrician, massage therapist. The list just goes on and on and on. So if you're a student where you want to, graduate high school, get your training in a relatively quick amount of time, usually very affordable. Most people are going to leave vocational trade school with no debt to little debt, if any, and then be ready and workforce ready. Vocational trade school would be your pathway. All right, and then while you're in high school, you might just want to think about that pathway after high school so that you're choosing courses that relate to what you want to do. Typically, our majors are going to fall under 8 umbrellas. These are the 8 umbrellas. So almost any career that you can think of for yourself is going to fall into one of these 8 categories. So even if you don't know what you want to do, you may find it helpful to just eliminate. So if you are certain, oh my, I don't want a health sciences career, then cross it off, okay? But if maybe you already have that calling and you know what you want to do, then make sure you meet with your school counselor and talk about what classes can you take in high school that are related to this major, this pathway. And then if you're a dual enrollment student, making sure that you're taking dual enrollment classes, AP, IB classes that are related to your major, okay? If you're really undecided, there are 2 websites that you can go to, My Career Shines or Big Future. These are the websites where you can take career assessments, and then the results are going to kind of say, hey, based on who you are as a person, your knowledge, your values, your skills, your abilities, your interests, these are careers that if you were trained in, A, you would be good at, okay? B, you'd enjoy. So those 2 are really important. You want something that you're good at, you want something that you're going to enjoy. Money for college. While you're in high school, it's important to know the difference already between scholarships and grants and student loans. Okay, scholarships and grants. This is money that you get for college that you don't pay back. Student loans, you do pay back. Scholarships and grants, you can start researching and applying for scholarships and grants as soon as you are in high school and then all throughout college. If your scholarships overpay your tuition, so you applied for more scholarships than you actually needed, that extra money will most often go right to you. So why not get paid to go to college? Over here, going back to student loans, You're going to apply if you have to take out student loans senior year and then annually while you're in college, but this really needs to be a last resort. If you do accept student loans, only accept federal student loans. Please never accept a private bank loan. Trust me on this. To learn more about why I say this, I am going to be making another video more specific to financial aid, student loans, scholarships. So just stay tuned for that. All right, and did I miss anything? Do you have any questions? Do you have any feedback for me? I'm definitely going to leave comments on this video, so feel free to put your comments in. If you're interested in any of the future videos that I plan on posting for you guys, like and subscribe, and you'll stay updated as I publish additional content for Florida high school students and their parents. Thank you. Have a great day.